All right, all right, all right. What's going on, y'all? Get this little thing together here. Appreciate y'all stopping through this early. Greg said it live. Let's see what we have here. Rizzle in the building. R Jizzle. What's going on? Just coming in. Come on in the room. Just had my little juice. I've been juicing. And getting that thing back going. Thinking about adding a segment for the season pre-game segment. But y'all keep an eye out for that. Anybody juicing to come? Anybody do juicing? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, Ron? Well, without any further ado, let's get this party started. If you look at the title here, you see Colorado is the wild card. I guess if I could say, put it in words, it would have been that all along. I'm not talking about anything particular like, like NFL wild card as far as the playoff, but we consider that too. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm gonna have a nice little segment I'm working on. I had my little beet juice this morning. Tell you, juicing is a good thing. I've been hearing about it. Haven't made the time in a while to do it, but it definitely helps as far as your body appetite and stuff like that, especially doing consistent. The carrots that you do that together, carrots, green, and apples. I did a carrot one. I think I had like carrot, pineapple. I think it was some spinach in it, turmeric. I did a carrot one, and then I have a green one that I do with cucumbers, green apple, and I think I do celery, sometimes separate. I haven't done it with the cucumber. I've done it either or, but spinach, and I put ginger and lemon and stuff like that in it. And then I have my beet juice. My beet juice I do with beets and apple, and I have ginger in pretty much all of them. With the green one of the green ones I did a lime instead of the lemon. I have a few different ones. I'm working on some recipes, and like I say, when the show comes, we're gonna have different ones for different things, different games. So that's gonna be something that's gonna be added to the Greg Said It channel. Something different. So like you say, you want to combine what you're interested in, what you do, to bring it to your audience as a whole. And I was plant based for a few years. I added fish, back some months ago, but still mostly plant based. So that's what I've been doing. Yeah, the ginger's strong, but it's good to add to your drink. Just a little bit of ginger. So we're gonna be doing that. So y'all look out for that. Our pregame drink. Greg Said It. Buff and juice. Be looking out for that. So, as I was saying, Colorado is the wild card. My language. We can go forth and say Colorado is the wild card. Yes, sir. That's a good thing. It's a good thing. Plant based. That was one of the things I originally started off with my channel. I was talking about plant based stuff, and then the football season came, and I kind of took off mostly with that. But I still do some stuff. So, like I said, we're gonna combine it. But I think the biggest thing that we have going right now is summertime. The guys about to go on their break for this little 4th of July week or two, couple weeks. They're gonna come back, they're gonna jump in this thing, then camp gonna start probably end of July or whatever. And it's gonna be all downhill from there. We know how fast the season go. Last year we seen the season kind of take off, and we finally came up for a breath. We was like, oh man, the season halfway over. And so you really just got to take life. You got to take everything day by day because, it moves fast enough by itself. So we can blink and it'd be August, and it's on popping. So I'm for one. I can wait. People say I can't wait. There's no rush for me. I'm enjoying the process. I'm enjoying and preparing for it because it's a preparation for all that it can go. I mean, last year things jumped off so quick. I don't even think the team was prepared for the amount of success and publicity that Coach Prime said he used to it. But them kids like, woo. And like I said last year, and I continue to say, I think this year going to be even more a jump. I think it's going to be even more exciting. I think it's going to be even more publicity. You got top guys. Everybody want to see what Shedeur do this year. They know what he can do. They want to see what he going to do this year. Travis and all these new guys. But I'm going to tell y'all one thing that I've noticed. One thing that I noticed. He said one day at a time. Why not? You got to make the best, like the juice. You got to get the most juice out of each day. You don't need to push forward till you get the most out of this day. And that's what Colorado should be doing. Why they preparing? You know, you got every opportunity to prepare for. I don't know what this thing doing. You got every second to prepare for this season. This season, we got no excuse. We got no excuse. Think about it. We can correct this here. I don't know why that popped up. We got every game we can prepare for. There's no game that we can't prepare for, far as personnel, far as strategy, far as what it's going to take, where you're traveling to. That's what that off season is for. So when you really look at it, I think Colorado has a lot of advantages because everybody has been in the portal. But for the most part, everybody say, oh, we pretty much the same. And that's the negative that they use against Colorado. But Colorado, once again, has so many new players and key players. It's a lot like last year. And I don't see how North Dakota can ever feel like they got any kind of hope beating Colorado, other than Colorado just stink up the field, which they're not finna do. Too much is on the line for these boys, and these boys are a different mindset. But they have no way of preparing for these boys. The second and third team have a better preparation opportunity. And I don't even think the second does. I think that's what happened with Nebraska last year. Good thing Nebraska played them last year. And also with Colorado State. Colorado State just going to get outpowered. But North Dakota can't really prepare for Colorado because Colorado is one of those teams. They're new and they're dangerous. I call it the wild card because when you look at it, everybody's starting to notice what's going on, slowly but surely. Most people are not going to notice until they see, oh, shucks, what's going on? It's different. We've been watching it, all of us here. You wouldn't be here if you wasn't really watching Colorado, different content creators, including Well Off. That's how we know our team. Some people drop in here talking crazy. They know our team better than us. But the reality is we know our team. We're not just fanned out, whatever you want to call it, from a standpoint of not knowing our team. We have a lot of hope for our team, but it's still based off of us knowing our team. And people say, oh, you just know your team versus each other. You ain't seen nobody else's team. But what we do know is you underestimate our team. See, you talk all around the mulberry bush and move the goalpost if you must. But the reality is we're the ones that's accurate because we're saying you're underestimating us. You mad that we say we one of the best teams, but your problem is you're underestimating us. It's not that we're underestimating everybody else as much as you're underestimating us by saying we're going to only win half the games, 4 games, again and again. And our weaker version of ourselves already shown that's a low bar. That's a bar for last year, right? You pointed out that other night, EA ain't even crazy. That's why speaking of EA, got them ranked in the top 20 around about what, 14, 15, something like that. And the only other team in the Big 12 that they got ranked, EA, ESPN, is Utah. Utah's the only other team that they got. Everybody else is behind Colorado. The rank is the same as far as the rating, but they're still behind Colorado. Now, whatever they use, you're right, 16, whatever they use to determine that, it's irrelevant to me. Go talk to the data heads because I'm going to break it down for you. How do you look at Colorado? I remember months ago, people gonna deny it, just like I talked to people about Nebraska, and they say, "Oh, Nebraska, Colorado was given the 3-point advantage over Nebraska, but not during the freaking off season." See, the people like to change stuff as they get closer to it and reevaluate, which is fair, but don't lie about what the original diagnosis was. And the original was Colorado was going to be one of the worst teams in the Big 12. That was original, like earlier this year. Then it kind of went to they in the middle. Now you're seeing people starting to rank them in the top 2. They went for everybody been saying Utah. That's consistent. But now they put Colorado up there, the closest to Utah. But everybody else between now and the original Colorado at the bottom of the Big 12, now everybody's, went from Colorado gonna lose at least half of the teams. They're gonna lose to Kansas, Kansas State, UCF. They're gonna lose to Oklahoma State. They're gonna lose to Utah, and then they're gonna lose to Texas Tech. And that's the kind of thing they've been throwing around. But now you shifting, and all them teams that you expect them to lose to, now people starting to kind of push that back and say, okay, really just between Colorado and Utah. Now, smart people were saying that from the beginning. I know we were saying from the beginning, before we even knew the conference, when Utah and Arizona came over, everybody, from who really followed like us was saying we're going to see Utah in the championship. And then we said possibly Oklahoma State. Then we threw to Oklahoma State. The problem with Oklahoma State is they are a pure run team. You look at their stats from last year, say everybody like last year. This is their same team. Only a genius will use a different team stat for the new team. I'm talking about most of them boys coming back. That's right about to throw around. They running back coming back, or the quarterback, all them coming back. When that running back didn't produce, when he didn't play, they lost. It wasn't an undefeated team. They lost. They struggled when you took away the run. So that tells me a lot. It's either they finna run all over you or they finna lose. Now, the way I see Colorado's defense, how it's built, the defensive line, big boys. Some of the boys more stout for the run than the pass rush. We can use them accordingly. But all of them get significant pressure in the backfield. I don't see you having a stout running game against our defensive line because all of our guys we brought in are known to disrupt your backfield. Like, you can get away with it with a pass because the quarterback dropping 5, 7, 9, 10 yards back. And all that pressure is kind of like slowly coming towards you. You have a window of opportunity. But when they were running right into where the running back is going, that's called stuffing the hole. Chidoze is good at that. Barnes is good at that. I know Buell is good at that, looking at his film. We look at BJ. He's good at that. I'm looking at Hayes. He's good at that. Some of these guys are more elite pass rushers, but our tackles and even some of our edges are really good at just crowding your backfield. They're eliminating these run lanes. You're going to do a lot of bouncing and bouncing. Then we went and got some solid tackling linebackers. We went and got Chainsaw. We went and got Hill Green. We went and got Wester. All very good at the run. So what that means is they know how to fill the gaps. They know how to scrape. They know how to stay off in the wash, going down there in the way, and getting them taking themselves out to play, running the opposite way to run. They know how to read. They know how to read the guards. They know how to do all of that. So when you add that combination, you're not really going to run all over this defense, especially if you add the factor in a smart coaching staff who's able to adjust the personnel to the run. Okay, y'all want to run? We'll adjust to you because we're going to play to your strength. We're not stuck in the box. We're going to adjust to your strength. You're not going to throw on us. You don't have that. So we can bring maybe extra personnel in the box. We can maybe bring the personnel who's more run strong, who's going to clog it up. We can go heavy on the front because you're not passing like that. That's not your thing. So we can make those adjustments against a one-dimensional team. Now, the one thing that Utah will have over a team like Oklahoma, which I do get, is if their quarterback come back, which it's amazing how they can rank him so high. He ain't played in a couple of years, really. If he is who they expect him to be and he comes back, then at that point we can say, okay, Now they're at least two-dimensional because they got a decent enough line and running game with whatever they're returning. Plus, they got a quarterback who can throw the ball. That's the only way I can really see you thinking you can remotely rival Shedeur, because you're gonna need both. You're just not gonna think you're gonna run over Colorado and win. They're not built that way. And you can keep him off the field, keep short the field. His offense is so high powered that you're not gonna just run along and beat him. You're gonna have to score more than what you do with them touchdowns. Let's say you score 3 touchdowns. That's pretty good for a run game, maybe even 4. But the thing is, he's gonna score more than that. He's gonna score more than that. And I've said it. Y'all heard my theories. They call it crazy, averaging 4 to 5 a game. Low 3, high 5, 4 in the middle. That's standard. They rebuilt the foundation. That's the difference. Every part of the staff. Speaking of the staff, he surrounded himself with people who he can trust. His friends came and said, "No, we're not gonna let our boy get dead in like that." He's surrounded. So, it ain't gonna be no question of unity, because these are people he got a history with. They know what they're here for. They're not here to steal his job. They're not here to compete against him. They're here to support. That's a difference. The people who got ambition, they're not. Even you look at his coordinator. He's a new coordinator. He's not trying to be a head coach next year. No matter how great he do, he's not looking to be nobody head coach next year. You look at Pat Shermer. Pat Shermer is not looking to be a college head coach, more than likely. He's not competing against none of his coordinators. He got people like Sapp coming in, Lewis coming. These guys here are grateful for the opportunity. They're not here to rival. They're here to support. Matter of fact, their support is going to increase their back end. Their longevity, their possibility by being part of this staff. So his staff is not built by people who think they're better or smarter. Everybody's grateful for opportunity, and people look down on that. Coach Phil Lawhor, he's a guy who's been given opportunity, who gets a chance to prove himself. Everybody's here to prove themselves. That's alignment. Coach Prime is here to prove himself. His coordinators are looking to prove themselves. His line coaches on both sides looking to prove themselves. Everybody's here to prove something. Nobody's here to show up nobody. Nobody's here arrogant. Nobody's here to say, I know more than this man. Everybody's here thankful for the opportunity. That's the kind of team Colorado has. I'm gonna be real. I don't respect Utah. I never. Let me tell y'all something about Utah. Appreciate you. Appreciate y'all support. It's a journey. It's a commitment and it's a journey. Yeah, them ball hawks still there. They can forget about them ball hawks, but they still there. The ball hawks are still there. So you throw it up in the air if you want to, trying to throw the ball and you ain't built for it. Appreciate you. Boy, I need it. I mean, it's a commitment. I got other stuff going on. Shout out to all the content creators. They always give respect to other content creators for the most part, because everybody know the work it takes to do this. I didn't know the work it took. I just took it day by day. I didn't know how many people I was going to have, subscribe money. I didn't know on it. I just came in like, y'all, I wanted to express something I put off for about a year or so. So I did it. And man, it's like, you don't know the type of work it takes. I probably don't work as half as hard as some of the other guys. I don't do as many lives. I don't do as many of this, but I'm consistent on how I do my show. And then doing this on Sunday and everything else. I'm in real estate. I have other, business stuff going on. I have to fit. I added the live on Thursday with Bernard Watts. Shout out to Sports Talk B Watts. I added that. All of that's commitment, because every hour, every 2 hours you take to do something, it's time away from something else, whether it's your family or whatever. So it's a commitment. And you all make this commitment worth it, showing up, being supported. We all on the same journey, supporting Colorado. So like I say, there's nothing without the people here. The people say the chat, the subscribers is what make all this even worth doing. Especially as much as I do, I ain't doing it every other week, every now and then, taking all season off. This is a year-round thing, right? And I'm new to sports in Colorado. It's my favorite team. I love the way you break. Let me see. Yeah, one of these three. Yeah, and that's another thing. I haven't made any commitment to any game, but I definitely want to make at least one out there, and I do want to go to UCF. So I'm seeing how it come together, how my schedule come together, and how I want to go about it. Hopefully I get some kind of pass. I'm hoping to get a press pass. I know I talked about that a couple months ago. I got to follow up on that. It'd be a beautiful thing to meet people who watch the show and people who other content creators and people you talk about. We had Benson on the show, Khalil Benson on there with B Watts on Thursday. That was a good thing to speak directly versus just watching. And so I definitely want to go to Colorado this year and experience what we talk about, see the mountains. I've been to Denver when I was a child a long time ago. So I probably was 8, 9 years old. I haven't been out that way since. So I definitely want to make it out there at least one game. I'm not trying to necessarily go to all games. I don't even know what my schedule allow, but I don't know which game, but I do know I want to go to one. So I'm just praying to see what that's gonna look like, what game, and how to get out there. How to get out there probably won't even be the biggest thing, but it need to make sense and make it worth that trip. So hopefully come together. You know, um, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I appreciate the people who run with me. I see people soon we come on in the box. Our Jizzle had Miss what was it Miss Shirley. Uh, I know we have Jen J. It's common names I see here. Uh, uh, lately, run, y'all. So we see you, and everybody have their people. I know I see some people that cross, and I see some people that kind of run. Other people when we on other platform, everybody have their people they connect with. That's the beauty of it. And you say we should rent an RV and tailgate. I actually, man, I have a guy trying to sell me an RV, but I sure won't be driving way out there in Colorado. I think the one time I did go to Colorado, it was on the bus. It was a family reunion. We drove to Alabama, caught the bus, Mobile, and Mobile seemed like around the corner compared to that trip. Mobile like 4 5 hours away. We drove, man, a whole day and some change to Colorado on a bus. It was fun as a kid, but man, so I don't even like driving, but that'll be an interesting hike. There's a lot of gas and everything. Gas was cheaper back then too. It was less than $1. I wouldn't want to see no gas driving out there now. But yeah, tailgate would be nice. Y'all put it together. Let's see what we can do. Get a few people to go in. Imagine how much great time. Yeah, tailgate would be great. I know some people out there. I wish the content creators, we do all this stuff. I wish the content creators would come up with something and just do a big tailgate, and that'll be cool. That'll be cool to see. Yeah. Let's talk about putting something together. Let's talk about putting something together. It'll be worth it. Appreciate you, DC Carson. Music, appreciate it. Yeah, I come. We was talking about what we was talking about on B Watts. We was talking about whatever, but at the end of the day, we're gonna see what's going on this season. People say 60 days. Oh, that's great. That's what we're doing it for. We're not doing this for fun. We actually want to see the product on the field. People have different expectations for the product. Some people say they're going to have a losing season. Some people say they're going to go 600. 500. Some people say they're going to, go 8-4. Some people say they're going to go 9-3, 10-2. That's all well and good. I don't think it's necessarily a debate for that, because I think who's going to really determine that is going to be the players on the field. What's going on? Only place I come in at is when we undermine, what progress is made based off of what was done. And we know why Colorado where they were last year. We're not confused. We know Coach Prime came in right when the portal opened, right before the portal opened, still tried to go back and play in the Celebration Bowl. It wasn't valued or respected. He was doing it for his players. Because why else would he do that? He wasn't getting paid no more money. He was really, and Colorado was nice enough to let him do it. Because most people should go and leave all behind you. And it affected him because he was split focus. He's trying to recruit and coach another team. Then once he got out there, his team, which he probably wanted, it kind of fell apart as far as who was left and who he wanted to be left. And then he had to go through the second portal. And the second portal, he had to fill in more people probably than he expected. And he put a lot of people out there just to fill in a roster, really. And so I think that team did well. I don't think they did as well as they could, but I think their depth bit them in the butt at the end. I think they had talent, and I think that the talent just the culture and the newness and all that lack of camaraderie, all the stuff said, caught up with them because they was all new. It wasn't just the players; the coaches were new. The coaches had never coached together as a whole. Coach Fry did a good job of bringing a lot of his people, but both his coordinators, he had no prior real interaction with. And so that was all new. The players were all new. It was hot and cold, just like the season. But I think ultimately, the depth and on that line is where they got destroyed. They literally got the quarterback hurt. That's what really did them in the end. If they had a block for the boy, it would have made the team look way better. It would have been way better than what they looked like with blocking, because he was going to get that ball out there. The defense got better as the season went on. The defense did their job in the last 4 or 5 games. They did it. Nobody can say they didn't. It's about Utah. I'm going to get back to them. Bust them up, backups and all, whatever you want to call it. Bust Utah up. UCLA definitely got busted up. They had to run people out the game. It's kept them low scoring. Oregon State, Arizona, all those games were in there. It's the offense that fell off at the end. Offense, anybody, it's simple. Everybody likes stats. Look at them. Everybody know that the offense fell off. It just went downhill as far as production. They wasn't scoring as much. They wasn't, the blocking was getting worse. We show the twerking pictures. Go to BWatts. We show it every week. Go look at it. So it's not a debate on where the fall off happened. They had injuries there, and they had just a lack of quality there, and that's what exposed them. I think if you replace that line, you definitely could have had an 8-4 or better team with all the other factors I mentioned. It was that line that didn't let that man throw that ball. It was that line that made that guy, get hurt. And what can you do when your starting quarterback hurt? We can talk about run game and all that. That probably would have changed with the line. But just as is, that line made a big difference. I already have my tickets for the first game, August 29th, homecoming, 21st, and Texas Tech. So you going to Texas. You in Texas. Yeah. Manager out of here. Yeah. Probably had some snakes on that coaching staff last year. Yep. He had some snakes. And it is what it is. We know now, but they try to keep a hush-hush. Yeah, they didn't quit, but I can't say that O-line didn't quit. I can't say that O-line didn't quit. We got too many clips and dips and them just letting the guys hit your door. Now, that's probably the best thing you can say about that is they quit. The worst thing you can say is they was letting that boy get hit on purpose. So, yeah, it probably a combination of both. Yeah, Coach Prime called them out. Yeah, all that, but they were letting that boy get hit. Everybody said it. The haters said looked like they finna let him get hit. Everybody saw that. And it was, I don't know, man. I don't know. So that's worse than quitting. That's me. That's why that line just went downhill. And I think that was a seed. Yeah. Yes, sir, Houston. Okay. I went to Houston last spring. It was all right. Downtown Houston, right by the stadium, by the baseball stadium. Went to a little conference down there. Only time I've been to Houston. But I like you can walk around and all of that downtown. And that little segment of downtown I was in. I got to go back and see the whole Houston. I said Houston is like a house, like Atlanta, like. So I definitely didn't see all parts of Houston. I just saw that little piece. But when you look at the fact, Colorado took that abuse, and they know what a losing team looked like. Yes, sir. Houston is hot. Yes, sir. Yeah, Atlanta hot, but I know Texas is definitely hot. Oklahoma is hot too. I've been to Oklahoma, boy. Oklahoma gives Texas a run for his money. I'm telling you, 100 to feel like 120 and all that every day. Rough. But when you look at what's going on, I think what Colorado did last year is a setup all the way around for this year. It literally is a measure. Like, we suffered. They suffered last year, and they was embarrassed last year, and the fans was embarrassed last year. So I'm thinking, last year is a catalyst for this year. Not necessarily talent for talent, but just that experience. The guys who was on that team, and even the guys who watched, they are impacted by that. I remember Khalil wasn't on the team. Him and several other guys said we watched that and we felt like we was doing. They was impacted like they was on the team, and they came here to help. Just like a lot of people on the coaching staff came to help. And when you got people who come that emotionally invested, it's like find somebody who fight for their life versus somebody fighting for sport. Somebody fighting for their survival gonna fight you way different than somebody who fights just to get away. A scared fighter can be scary, but somebody fighting for their survival, I think that's what these guys are gonna play like. They're gonna play with a different engine. They're gonna play with a different heart behind it. They're gonna remember last year, and they're gonna remember in a way that it's gonna bring out a different type of passion. That thing that Coach Prime mentioned in one of the interviews when he was like, we just could have converted on a first and a third and 5, like that thing that makes you dig deep to put away a game or to make one more drive to finish the game or come back on the game. That thing in you, that's hard. That's what these guys got this year. They got heart. They got, I refuse to lose. See, Shadua had it. Shadua hobbled around. Really, most of them games, they say Shadua won. Yeah, he did. He carried the team on his back. Literally. We saw when Travis got hit, he was the one run. We got more guys like that now. You know Tyler Brown like that. You know Benson like that. You know that whole O-line is they thinking like that. That D-line thinking like that. That whole defense, they got a different energy. Look at the attitude of a Hayes going up against Benson. They were fighting each other. They ain't doing it but sharpening each other every day. They'll be the best friends. By the season comes, they're going to be some terrorizers. But they sharpen each other right now. They pushing each other. He know that's the better guy on the line. He wanted the better on the defense. They pushing each other because they preparing each other. He want his best. I want to bring the best out of Benson. 1, so he can push me. And 2, so he can be the best guy so we can go win. That's what you're looking at. When people don't play football, when you see Benson and they going at it, it's like remember the Titans, strong side, left side. You know, that's what you're looking at when you see them 2 captains button heads, because they the leaders. Everybody see them pushing each other. They say, oh, that's the bar. They don't see the leaders sitting back, taking it easy, half doing it. They see them guys working. So that means everybody else got to work because that's the standard. That's what you're looking at, man. And if you don't see that, they can play it in Kansas City. I'm sure it won't be too much. Hey, well, man, whatever we come up with, man, if I can go get me a pile of money, I might show up to some more places. I'm working, man. I'm working. You know, them trips cost money. I'm working. Get it done. You know, who knows what we can get done. Especially, man, they make this run, man. We got to be ready. They make this run. We got to be ready to all show up at the championship and make it to the championship. The Big 12. We got to be there. Wherever they said it's going to be at this year. I think it's on this side over here somewhere. Last year, what was Big 12 at last year? I know what the Pac 12 was. Nobody from that line ran over that. Yeah, Yeah, yeah. It was crazy. It was crazy. You know, the quarterback risk getting put out the game, and they should have cleared that sideline. It will happen on your sideline. They should have attacked him like some ravaging wolves, man. They should have jumped all over him. Yeah. Oh yeah, they didn't care. They didn't care. They watched Shador get sacked, and then they didn't help him up most of the time. Some of the time they did. They just stood there. They had no care about that man getting hit. They knew he was hurt, and they still let him get hit. Them boys gonna fight this year, man. They gonna fight. They gonna fight. The one thing for sure, they gonna fight. We're gonna see the difference because it's good to have something to put side by side. Not the old, but Coach Prime first year by second year. Yeah. I'm glad Coach Sapp stand on them boys about jumping outside because they gonna throw some flags on you, so you can't give them none. See, one thing about Colorado, they gave flags, so it's hard to defend them. You say, oh, they were undisciplined. A lot of that crap was nonsense, but it was us huckabucking and false starting and all that stuff. You know, they was doing that a lot on the offensive line. So you only can control what you can control. Control what you can, the controllables. You jumping outside. You can't control if that man called holding on you and you wasn't holding. You can't control if he called pass interference on you and it won. You can control you. They gonna have to do that. Because them boys gonna be holding and they ain't gonna call it. They're gonna be pass interference, they ain't gonna call it. But you know, they're gonna call yours, you did, and yours you didn't do. Shout out, just got out of church. It's about that time. I'm saying the team as a whole didn't quit. Yeah. Yeah, and you know, and like what that show for? Because I'm about to get into what I was saying about Utah and team. Saw the miss from last year. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, they didn't come all the way over here to lose. Okay, it's gonna be in Texas. That'd be nice. That'd be nice. Like I said, they there. We got to make that trip. We got to put our coins together and get there. We got to be up there acting a fool. They get there. We got to be in there. You hear me? Yeah. Yeah, dirty hits. I'm gonna tell you where you're gonna see the dirty hits and stuff. You gotta watch the second and third game. Maybe when you get down to Texas Tech, stuff like that. I'm definitely going to the street if they make it. Yeah, tickets gonna be pricey. Yeah, yeah. So my thing is this: they're gonna be trying to lure these boys into fights. They already know they spicy. They looking at them on well off. They thinking, oh, they're gonna be undisciplined. All I gotta do is poke at them and get them riled up. I'm telling you now. I wish I'd have asked Benson told Benson that. I'm telling you now, they gonna think they got you figured out. They gonna try to entice you. They did it, Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter pushed the boy back at the end of the game, got a personal foul. And that's what quote unquote didn't lose them the game, but that was they finally made that stop. They sealed the game, and that referee threw that flag after they stopped them to keep Stanford in that game. He don't push Travis on that. This Travis on the first game back. They don't push the ball all on the ground. He playing both sides of the ball, hit him after the play. I'm seeing the clips, well off, different clips showing on the sideline. They pushing the man all on the ground. The referee ain't called it one time. Travis finally pushed him back at the end of the game. The boy kept hitting him out the play. The boy was way bigger than Travis. See, that's the kind of jump to me. I guess they were trying to be disciplined because they weren't trying to get no penalty. But he got a penalty for that. The boy never got one penalty. He did the Travis on the whole game. He never got one penalty. That receiver on Stanford, the big, thick running back looking receiver. So, what can you say? You know, I just say what portion of that, who didn't believe? Because that, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough moments. It's going to be tough moments. I mean, because they're going to make it tough, whether it's just a away game or just the factors that's kicking in against. Like, let me give you an example. Utah. Utah ain't never been nobody to me. I put Utah, Houston, New Mexico State. When I think about those schools, I think about those really like Group of Five, because that's what they really were. Group of Five back in the day. Schools, Air Force, even like a BYU and all them. They were kind of like, they were all right at their level. But I don't know at what point did Utah became a powerhouse. I saw they got better and better. I think Houston had started getting better, because I remember they used to come like to Georgia and get blew out. Them kind of games. Utah, they come and play these SEC teams for like the first game and get blew out. That's what I always known in Utah, Wyoming. There's them schools. They was Division I, but they were like lower level Division I. They was never no powerhouse. And that's that. I've never really seen them. Maybe when Cam Rising came, maybe that changed. I don't know, but I don't remember Utah being anything like that. That they're making them beat it the last couple years since, I guess, with Colorado. Now I know Utah won the year before Colorado, before Coach Prime got there. I think they won the conference. They snuck up on some people, but I don't even think, how long was Utah there before that? I think they got that a year or two before that. They had just moved up to Power 5, from what I remember. So, I mean, they can be beat with them. Yeah, they won, 2021, 2022. Yeah, they won the year before. And but okay, say, so thanks for the history. Now tell me, what did they do before 2021? Where were they before 2021? Because they wasn't always in the Pac-12. See, let's look at the whole history. They are a recent success. And most of that, I guess, was contributed to Cam Rising or whatever. But that's, once again, we in 2024. I'm not sure who 2021 team, how compatible they are to the 2024 team. I'm not sure. They just reloaded like that. But what I am sure of is they stole Colorado game. They ain't that loaded like you want to think. Because I don't care if it was their second or third string, man. They should have beat Colorado without backup quarterback easily. They didn't. They had to take 3 touchdowns off the scoreboard to barely beat Colorado. Now you said that's the backup quarterback, backup this, backup that. We also have backups in. We also, we had Travis Hunter out there, and it showed that he was way ahead of everybody, because every time he would touch the ball, he was scoring. He scored, and they still took 2 touchdowns off the board. Dillon returned the kick. It was some things that they took away from Colorado that they had to take away from Colorado to beat them. Had to. It was no, figure maybe that's opinion. No, they won a one without taking them touchdowns off the board. Fact. Their backups was in. Fact. Some of our backups win. Fact. Matter of fact, our backups been in, remember, because we was depleted. Our line was depleted the whole half of the season. So by default, our backups are in. Our quarterback wasn't there. Our number 1 receiver didn't play. He was sick. If that's what they say. So, for Utah to be so loaded, even their second and third team should have been way over Colorado. It's just like me saying, I play Georgia. Since y'all want to put them so high, if I play Georgia, second and third team, they gonna beat the mess, like we see in the bowl games. They gonna beat the mess out of you with their reserves, because they're loaded. That's what a loaded team look like. Utah ain't got that kind of loaded like we sell them. They may be strong on their first team, maybe, but like, why are we overselling Utah? Why are we overselling them? Right, they were in the Mountain West, exactly. It was group of 5. That's what they were, and they want to know. I know enough about football to know they are a recent quote unquote powerhouse that hasn't done anything but win the Pac-12, and a lot of it seems to be based off of Rising. So maybe that's why they ranking Rising so high. But Rising hasn't proved that he's gonna. Everybody else who tear their knees out, everybody say it take a while for them to recover, if they ever recover. They automatically put him in glory. They automatically put him in glory. Utah top team. Utah last year, minus Rising. What did they do? They won. They didn't. They did. They didn't outdo Oregon. They didn't outdo Washington. They lost some games. Who did they lose to? They lost games to teams just like we did. We was in games just like that. But one thing for sure, Colorado beat them. All this say the crap, man. Be for real. Colorado beat them. They manipulated that scoreboard by taking touchdowns off of it. They didn't beat them boys on the field. And I feel like we were just as much in backup and reserves as they were. I don't even think, like, when you look at their who they played on the line, like our defense was getting pressure on their quarterback. Decent with our subpar pressure. Like I said, our defense got better as the season went on. But hey, everybody make excuses for them. For the Pac-12 year, they were good during Urban Meyer years. But you're right. They were good at their level. They were good at their level. You know what I'm saying? They're just like when you look at everybody now. Yeah. When you look at, like, in my day, we called it D1A, D1 2A. That's what we called it. Everybody now, they got these, group of 5, power 5. That ain't what I grew up on. So I always looked at with Division 1, 2, and 3, right? You had Division 1 had 2 tiers. You had the lower Division 1s and the higher Division 1s. Utah was always a lower Division 1. There was never a guy that can Georgia. They weren't going to see nobody in the SEC. They weren't going to see nobody in these what we call now Power 5. They wasn't coming. They was there to get whooped. They was like FAMU or somebody. That's who was also there. Like FAMU, HBCUs, they were considered Division 1 AA. It was no separation. Now they want to say FCS, then they want to say group of 5, group of 4, Power 5, Power 4, all that. They want to divide it. I ain't even talking about conferences. I'm just saying how they divided it. It was different. It was either you was up there or you was down here. That's how we looked at it. It was no, because now they're trying to separate HBCUs separate. Y'all FCS. And but y'all ain't really, y'all lower level FCS. And it's almost like now you got FBS and FCS operating like how they used to do Division 1A and Division 1AA, but that's more parts. Because even when you look at FBS, they don't divide it in half too. So they just become more divisive. You got these FBS schools who's the top tier in the Power 5. FBS, and then you got some guys who in the FBS but nobody respect, like the Vanderbilts, most of the ACC teams, and then you started trying to throw Pac-12 and until they kind of slid up on people last year. You start trying to like putting other FBS teams. You're almost trying to treat them like they are FCS. But they really is lower tier FBS. Then you created this FCS thing, and you created the upper tier like North Dakota State, and then you create a lower tier there too, and you just pretty much put all the HBCUs and all that down there automatically, which is it's really just getting good and divisive and segregationist. But when I grew up with just 2, y'all got 4 now. It was 2. It was the high A, low A. Utah was low A. I had to break that down for y'all. Utah was low A. Yeah. Mountain West, I know Mountain West is what you consider now grouper of this, group of that. But back then, it was just, either you up there with the big dogs or you ain't. And they're going to play you and they're going to eat you for snack. Right? And yeah, it was the trenches. And you like when I went to the game to see Georgia play Houston, they trenches was the little chubby little boys, and Georgia had them big wildebeest grown men. They ran all over them. So it's definitely the trenches. It's definitely the trenches. It's definitely the trenches. Like their trenches. Now I'm gonna give y'all an example. Let's go there to some recent. North Dakota State just put out a video where they was coming out the locker room with the boom box, and the quarterback came out, had the white jersey, green jersey, gold jersey, and they were going into their stadium, the indoor stadium with no turf on the ground. And it was like, yeah. And I made the comment, them two little chubby little linemen, one had the radio. I said, is that their old line? So now we having that conversation again. So that was a Houston O-line versus a Georgia O-line. If you put them boys next to our O-line this year, you're gonna see why they're gonna beat the mess out of North Dakota. They two top O-line guys, I guess they captains and all that with quarterback in that video. And he chubby, he was not big, there was no muscle. You see how our linemen looking. Everybody talking about the how our linemen don't develop in that offseason program. Our linemen, they came in looking different than what they look like. Jordan Seaton arms is twice as big. As Benson Mama say, he don't even want to wear shirts. So our linemen even look different now, but they came in at a different, way bigger than them linemen. You talking about trenches is the different. North Dakota line fits their level. They're going to be good at FCS. They're not to dare say that they're going to come in and hit Colorado in their mouth this year. Like maybe they look like Bailey last year, like one of them linemen. They look like our line from last year, Bailey and all them boys. It was 270, 280 playing guard, getting pushed like they had roller skates into the backfield. Do y'all see how our D-line, how Barnes, everybody like, oh man, what we gonna do with Hank? How Barnes push Hank in the backfield? Do you see how they push the boys in the backfield? Now I know they ain't got no equipment on, but did you see how big and strong our tackles are? If you don't come with your A game, they will push you in the backfield. That's the kind of D-line we got. Do you see them little rinky-dink guys that we saw in that video with the stomach hanging over and all that? And they look good for their level, but they not this level. Trying to block Barnes and Shadozy, they're gonna eat them for lunch. What's so hard to get about that? They're gonna eat them for lunch. Yeah, I heard they moved the post, but people don't share it because I don't seen it multiple times. That's how the internet is. When they come out the locker room, that's the post. They knocking on the locker room. It wasn't nothing against us, but I'm saying we saw what they linemen and players look like. It's not close, man. It's not fair. Only Colorado can be treated like this for a week one game. Everybody else play week one game. I know everybody can get beat, but only Colorado can get treated like they on the same level as they week one team. Like, yeah, you can get upset, but they treat them like they're on the same level. Oh, y'all beat them by 3. Disrespectful. Why? It's about when they playing the rap music. How they was trying to make fun of CU. Maybe it's another video. Yeah, definitely last year team would have beat them. That's the thing. But last year team definitely would have beat them because we still had Shador. And they still got whoever they got at quarterback. Last year team definitely would have beat them. But the difference is, last year you could say, well, we don't know what Coach Prime got, what Shador got. The fact that they know what Shador could do and they still talking is just stupid to me. It's just stupid to me at this point. Like, you could have said that last year. But this year, you know better. You know Shador ain't finna lose to them. Shador by himself. Star will beat them. Our backup quarterback can beat them. He can beat them. He can beat them by 14, 21 points. He can. Stop. I guarantee you. Stop can do it. We ain't even got to start Shador. And Star will beat them just like he beat Utah. Yeah, he beat Utah. You can't tell me that Utah team that with all the backups would not have beat North Dakota. Hey, he gonna light the scoreboard up. And see, that's the thing. He already showed y'all how he get down. He showed you what he can do at TCU. He gonna light the scoreboard up so quick. This is what y'all. I'm glad y'all looking at Greg said it. Because I'm not like other people. I'm not gonna sit here and play the politically correct game. Shador gonna light the scoreboard up. It's gonna look like how Oregon jumped out on us. It's gonna look. Remember how Oregon jumped out on us? They just playing at such a faster pace, and it's like we can't even catch up. That's how Colorado gonna jump out on North Dakota. Everybody gonna get good sleep that night because they're gonna shut that TV off. I guess we can go ahead to bed. We don't need to come back at a halftime. They're gonna jump out on them boys so quick and so hard. It's gonna be the matchup is gonna be evident in the first drive on both sides. The matchup is gonna be evident that they're not gonna stick around with Colorado. The matchup is on the offensive line, how we move the ball so easily and so fast on them. It's gonna be like, oh shucks, why do we even play this kind of mental game with ourselves? Why do we believe this lie? That's what you're gonna see from the jump. It ain't gonna be no tug of war going on. The only tug of war Colorado gonna have is with themselves. If they go out there playing stupid, that's the only thing Colorado can do. They can go out there and they can act like they don't know what in the world they doing. They jumping outside, which I doubt they're gonna do with the type of coaches and players they got. They're gonna be fighting. That's the only thing Colorado can mess around and do is go out there and be sloppy and beat themselves, far as just looking rusty and looking. That's the only thing Colorado gonna do to keep them around temporarily. If Colorado come out there playing like they supposed to, they would jump up and be 14-21 a zip before the doggone end of the first quarter. Not half, quarter. By the end of the first quarter, it'd be 21 a zip. And the reason why I can say that zip, because that defense is not gonna play around. They gonna bum rush their offensive line like they're not even there. They gonna bump. You're gonna get to see the run game because we're gonna be up on them so quick. Shaduk gonna come out there so quick on them. Boom, 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 boom. I really don't expect Shaduk to come out after halftime. Let's start going there, get some reps, and let him get a quarter. Then let Wade and all them other boys get in the fourth quarter. I'm not trying to underestimate them boys. Y'all the one underestimate Colorado. The people who want to say looking over. I'm not looking over nothing. That's the reality. Yeah, that's cute, man. But these boys gonna jump out on them boys so quick. I feel sorry for them because people putting them in a bad situation. The expectation that they gonna be around is gonna be more embarrassing. Y'all didn't even like we went out against Oregon. Boom, 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 boom. Like, golly, that's what it's gonna look like. If Colorado come out there like they are, they're gonna move different. It's gonna the pace. We thought we had a fast-paced offense last year. Them boys gonna be moving on a different speed. See, the pace of the game is in the force of the game is gonna be so different, man. For North Dakota, man. I'm just being real with you. I'm being real with y'all, man. I'm not really. I can't get no more real than this. I can't get no more real than that. They're gonna be physical, man. These boys, man. Do you see first of all, do you see the mentality of these dudes? You ain't gotta hype them up. They already overly aggressive. Overly. What's to say overly aggressive? These boys they fighting each other. They overly aggressive. They ain't even got no pads on. Our defensive line is so overly aggressive, it's ridiculous. These are not the kind of guys from last year, man. BJ Green, Hayes, them boys, Oklahoma. We saw a list, man. Let me show you how Colorado's such a wild card. It's ridiculous. We saw a list. They said 3 guys made like the top 20 from Colorado. And it wasn't even who you thought. They had BJ Green as the highest one, meaning he was like 15, somewhere way up there. BJ Green as like the top pass rushers in the country. We had 3 on the list. And then we had what's my boy name from LSU? As higher than BJ Green. He didn't even really play, but they're just looking at how big is his potential. Why am I forgetting his name? Wiggins. Big old Wiggins. He made the list. And then they had Oklahoma in the top 10. He like number 8. They didn't even put Hayes in there. He ain't even in the top 20. So you looking at, we got 3 guys. We ain't even projected Wiggins as a starter. But we know he definitely gonna be in some pass rushing packages. But they ain't even acknowledged Barnes because Barnes ain't put up no numbers yet. He red shirt, right? Pretty much. They ain't even acknowledged what Barnes can do up the middle. They ain't even talked about Carter, what he can do. These guys young. They gonna learn this. They gonna learn. They gonna learn what these guys can do. But they already acknowledged three. It's other guys we know who come off that line that they don't even see them coming. With that kind of pressure, man, I feel sorry for any quarterback that they're going against who think they're going to throw the ball. Yeah, y'all got to realize that. You got to realize that, man. You know, you ain't got to fear Colorado. You probably not because you ain't seen them yet. But when you get out there on the field with and they put you on your back a few times, we're going to see what you feel. I hate it for that center that got to go up against Shadoze. I hate it for that center that got to go up against Barnes. I hate it for him. At that level, I hate for any FCS lineman, they have to come up against those guys and somebody put them in a situation think they can win. You know, the technology, man, that's gonna be cute. I'm just talking about like this out the gate. The matchup is ridiculous. These boys huge, man. Wow, you seen them linemen they had in that video? They can't block them boys, man. Anybody should know. McNeil. If anybody, McNeil ain't a little dude either. And he quick. If anybody should know what it looked like to put some little bit of linemen against some wildebeest, we should know what it looked like. We just lived it last year. We can't play ignorant like we don't know what can happen when you put some little bit of linemen against some different level linemen. That was our story last year. That's what we suffered. So y'all, come on now. Colorado is the wild card. Everybody knows it. I mean, you know, they started to change up the rankings. Now Colorado's considered a top defense. We started hearing people say Colorado is maybe, you know, have a top 10 receiver room. We kept hearing, why they ain't mentioning it? Now they slide in Colorado in their receiving room. We're going to watch them slide and slide the closer we get to the season. And once they hit North Dakota in the mouth, they're going to slide them. Then once they hit Nebraska in the mouth, they're going to slide them. We're going to be back where we were last year. They're going to be trying to say, they're going to do it again. They're going to fall off. We're going to be back 3-0 again. And they're going to be like, oh, game day, and everybody probably going to show up. And going to definitely be there probably by that Kansas State game. I predicted a lot of this stuff last year. For all the people say I predicted a lot of this stuff. And then the fall off, hey, who predicted? But I saw all that stuff. And I can see them in 3-0, and the storyline is this new Colorado where they do like they did last year and get the conference play and fall off. But they're going to be in that situation again. They're going to come out strong. They're going to come out hard. But it's going to look different. See, they scraped by TCU. It was a back and forth. They're not going to go back and forth with North Dakota. They're not going to go back and forth with North Dakota. They're not going to do it. Don't sit here and expect them to play patty cake with North Dakota. Yeah, we did see some film last year, but you know, now it's the same player. I did see some stuff, but just look at the build of the line. Just look at how they built. They built like 1970 offensive linemen. Our linemen built like the modern offensive linemen, big, strong. Let's just be real. Our linemen looking more SEC-ish than anything. Our line is looking stout, like not a Power 5 line. Like our line is looking like how you see in SEC. Like our line is starting to look Alabama-ish. Look at who we recruited. Look at the type of players we coming. They 6'8", 340. That's what we brought in this offseason. We got people on the bench. We got people on the bench that look like pros. That ain't what we had last year. We had some tall basketball looking linemen. That was it. And they did all right. They got hurt. At least Washington did. Tank was getting pushed back in the backfield every play. He was tall and long. He had no muscle. His legs was chicken. He was not stout. Our linemen now, they stout, man. They got them big lower bodies. They strong. Our line, Tyler Brown will tell you, those all them boys tell you, just from working out from the beginning of the year to now. They're like, oh yeah, these boys lifting now. They used to be just the only strong guy. Tyler Brown, everybody was, ooh, Tyler's so strong. Tyler Brown was the only strong lineman last year. By far. He was the more athletic and the strongest. Now you got some other guys that can lift with him. Now you got some guys on the defensive side who can lift with him and competing and pushing each other. That's the difference, guys. But you know what's scary about that difference is nobody want to admit it. That little rinky-dink line from last year, that little rinky-dink Colorado team from last year, that everybody liked to mock. That team at 4-8 was just a few calls and plays away from flipping that. yeah. He can't argue that because we know they got blew away 2 games. But they were just a few plays and calls. When I say calls, referee calls away from being 8-4. See y'all don't see y'all. Yeah, that mess with some of y'all. You know they stole Utah. You know they gave away Stanford, and you know that Travis Hunter call. That's 2 right there. You already at 6-6. You know them throwing Shiloh out the game and all that with UCLA and these little phantom catches on the sideline with people floating up and weird stuff. You know UCLA was a very, very close game. Look at the stats. Look at the sheets. Look at the scoreboard. They won that game at the end with the line twerking and letting the quarterback get hit. And a quarterback who could barely walk. UCLA barely beat them. And this one, UCLA was in their prime. UCLA they had made a run. Arizona, UCLA, all them teams they played at the end of the season, they wasn't on a decline. They was at the best ball they were playing. Colorado was declining. Everybody else was inclining. And they all barely beat Colorado. With a subpar line. Clearly letting their quarterback getting hit. Coaching staff in chaos. That's what beat them. They barely. You don't forget USC game. That Kamani caught an interception right at the 50-yard line. Stood on the sideline, then went out, and they said incomplete. They said they didn't want an interception. Colorado was in full control of the game, even all the way to that next drive. They scored and then got an onside kick, and they couldn't get it back. But if Colorado had got the ball right there, they would have beat USC. They would have beat. When Kamani caught that interception, and the referee said he was out of bounds. He stood. He didn't tiptoe. He stopped on the sideline, stood there, then went out of bounds. And they say he was out of bounds. It was some calls that when they came back in some games, making run in some games, there was some penalties and stuff. So it was some calls. But outside of that, Colorado was so garbage like y'all want to say they are at 4-8. Why was they on so many people's neck? They was on so many people's back. You throw it around. Them teams was ranked when they was losing too. Arizona was ranked when they played them. UCLA was ranked when they played them. These teams was ranked in the top 25 by the time they were playing Oregon State. And these teams barely beat Colorado. In the worst state Colorado was in. You seen Colorado at their best in the beginning. They caught Colorado at their worst. The team was falling apart, literally. Quarterback was hurt, literally. The offensive line was doing some dumb stuff, literally. And yet, They only got blew away in Washington. Every other game they played, they either won or they should have won. So there's no excuse about the record. But while you bragging about them being 4-8 at their worst self, and you want to use, go ahead and use that comparison. Because I guarantee you, this team is a lot better than that team everybody barely beat last year. For people who still confused about what I'm saying, I'm gonna say it again. This team this year and what they got this year is a lot better than that team that everybody want to keep pointing at last year, who all these teams barely beat, including Arizona. And we don't even talk about Utah. They barely beat the worst version of Colorado. Y'all in for a rude awakening for what everybody gonna have to do and face in this new Colorado. Greg said it. Appreciate y'all for coming through this wonderful Sunday. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. Make sure y'all be here. This thing gonna be on and popping. And I'll be talking to y'all soon. Now from the words from our wonderful sponsor, everybody love. Boom. Check out the message from my sponsor, Tanggula. Go get yours. We'll have a long season. See the advertising at the bottom. Make sure y'all get y'all Tanggula box. That's all I gotta say. This is their cheat. Chaos. They had to do a whole lot to beat Colorado. I wonder what they're gonna have to do this year. I'll be talking.